Respected dignitaries, respected faculty members, and our dear students, good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of our international conference MESKCON, we welcome you all, and today's session for psychology is led by our honorable guest, Dr. Maman Joseph, on the topic, Being Kind to Yourself, the Mantra for Well-being or Happiness. Dr. Maman Joseph C. is an associate professor in the Department of Applied Psychology at Central University of Tamil Nadu with 13 years of teaching experience at the university level and 18 years of experience in psychological counseling. Prior to his appointment at Central University, he was an assistant professor in the Department of Psychology at Central University of Karnataka. He has also worked as a faculty in the School of Behavioral Sciences and in the University Center for Disability Studies at Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala. He was also a visiting faculty of the School of Medical Education at Mahatma Gandhi University and the State Institute for Medical Education and Technology at Kerala. He has a PhD and MPhil in Psychology, Masters in Applied Psychology, Masters in Health and Behavioral Sciences, and a Master's Diploma in Counseling Psychology. He has designed and conducted various workshops and training programs related to soft skills training, psycho-social care for disaster-affected, and counseling, His research interests include disaster mental health, suicidology, environmental psychology, work-life balance, and counseling. So once again, we welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Then moving to the topic, being kind to yourself. When the organizers contacted me regarding the topic and all, so I thought of various things, and since it is being a transdisciplinary conference, because various subjects we are dealing with and all, then it should be something very common, not that much very specific to psychology I'm supposed to talk about. That's why I have chosen this topic, being kind to yourself, because this is a somewhat neglected aspect. Even though we are talking a lot about kindness, gratitude, other aspects and all, but when it is coming to kindness to ourselves, that is somewhere neglected and not focused much. And maybe you may be from different disciplines and all here, sitting here. So when someone is talking about psychology, usually the main thing which is coming to our mind is about psychological disorders and all, especially movies portrayed, and we may have some kind of indirect experiences related to various diseases and disorders and all. But recently, in the field of psychology, there is a paradigm shift that is happened, and it's happening further. So that shift is from an illness perspective to a wellness perspective. So previously we were focusing on illness. That is what is our usual focus, quite natural. So I usually ask students like you to talk about yourself. It's very easy to talk about some negatives of you, but when it is coming to positive aspects, you are struggling to find 10 points of you. So that's why our own focus also by default somewhere is on the negative side, not on the positive side. That is the illness side, not the wellness side. So the paradigm shift that happened in psychology, now we are focusing on the well-being aspect or the happiness aspect or flourishing. Different terms are there, somewhat synonymously we can use. So that's the reason why I have chosen this topic. And this is not being kind to yourself is not a new topic. It's there a lot of times it is there mentioned in Buddhist philosophy and all a lot, again Buddhist literature and a lot. So here I am going to present a very few aspects related to being kind to yourself, and then let's see further things we will proceed through your interaction. So I'm starting from a quote. Actually the quote is from the Buddha. It's not my quote. So it's about you yourself as much as anybody in the entire universe deserve your love and affection. So many times we are talking about I love you, but how many times we are talking about hello me, myself? I think never, or very rarely, right? So this is the starting point of we need to be kind to ourselves. If we are not in ourselves, then who will love ourselves? If we are not kind to ourselves, then whom you are expect that they will be kind to yourself. So we need to start from this reflection about our own outlook, our own perception, our own attitude towards ourselves. So then Actually, this is a big statement. You need not read it and all. I am also not going to read all those things. But this is something talking about the present day scenario. So we are living in a world, and many are teaching us like that we are living in a competitive world. Actually, I am not okay with that statement, because words are really powerful. If we are saying that we are living in a competitive world, by default we are also dragging ourselves to that competition. So the cooperation aspect is gone, and we are living in this world. Okay, this world, every time world is having its own challenges as well as opportunities. Every time competitions may be there, because opportunities may be rare and people contesting for that opportunities are more, definitely that competition may be there. But again and again, if we are saying that we are living in a competitive world, that's not correct. So we are reinforcing our own misunderstanding about the context, the world, others, etc. like that. So actually, when we are saying that competitive world and some other competitors are there, what actually we are doing, unconsciously or unintentionally, we are starting to compare with others. Then only competition is starting, right? So we know that we will say, we will teach, we will believe that unnecessary comparisons are not good. Yes, every time there are one or other challenge will be there. And now maybe the pace of life may be a little bit more faster than the previous time. And the challenges are a little bit different compared to the previous era, etc. Like that. So the trap is actually, we will look for external validation to prove our worth or have worthy. This is also not my observation. This observation is made by one of the great psychologists called Carl Rogers long ago. So when he is explaining his theory, he is talking about conditions of worth. So this is nothing other than that conditions of worth. So we should not do that. Actually, we need to have our own internal conditions. So we will call that organismic self, and we need to have our own internal positive self-regard and our own internal conditions of worth, not by someone outside us. Because you only know better than, who know better than you, than yourself. So by making this competition and making these external conditions of worth, praise and all, if you are looking, we are looking for this external validation. And whenever we are looking for external validation, at the end, we will end up with frustration in most of the cases. So for example, I want to be a singer, and many a times whom I will compare with the best singers, not the worst singers. So I will compare with the best singers available at that context, at that time, and I may start comparing to be worthy. Then I am looking for that external validations. But actually what I have to do, I have to look into my context. I am a unique person. I look into my own unique context, and in that context, am I doing justice to my potentials based on the available resources? So this is what is the internal validations we need to have. So the problem with external validation, we will set our criteria to evaluate whether I am worthy, whether I am good, or any such value judgments. We will look for others' criteria to evaluate ourselves. So then we will forget about our own uniqueness and our own potentials about it, and we will be very harsh to ourselves, not be kind to ourselves. So this is how the trap, the vicious circle is developing. So in order to avoid that, we need to start our own internal valuing system that should be very strong. Let the entire world talk about something about you, but you should have your own criteria. Based on that, you start evaluating you and feel worthy or not, based on your own understanding and evaluation. So that is the starting point. The entire thing is basically talking about that. Then, moving to the exact topic. So in the recent times, being kind to yourself, or self-kindness or kinderness, that is most what we say studied or researched by a psychologist called Neff. So Neff extensively studied about this aspect. She has incorporated the ideas from Buddhist philosophy, from positive psychology, humanistic psychology, existentialism and all, and she developed a new concept that's called self-compassion. So compassion, we know that we are always saying that we have to be compassionate, and we are compassionate also. But self-compassion, are we compassionate towards ourselves? I doubt many a times. Because instead of self-compassion, We may be going with many rigid criteria to evaluate us. So based on others' opinion, based on the external words, conditions set for evaluating you. So this rigidity is against self-compassion. We may be very cruel to ourselves. That is something called self-criticism to the maximum extent. So of course we know that we are human beings, right? We are not perfect. We will try to excel in our area. But whatever we are trying to excel, there may be some lacuna may be there. So perfection is a kind of a myth actually. We can try to excel. But we will be many a times, we are very cruel to ourselves and we will say that, okay, that mistake is made by me, I am not perfect, this happened to my work, this happened to my life and all. So we will say that you are not a worthy person. So you are really very cruel. If it is happening to someone else, we will say that, oh, it's okay, one time it happened, it's okay like that. But many a times we won't be pardon ourselves. So we won't make any excuses and we may be, most of the time we will be cruel to ourselves. So we are not that much kind to ourselves. So we need to foster again self-compassion. So this harshness, unkind way of evaluating ourselves, sometimes we may punish also. So as it is mentioned in the introductory aspect, one of my research area is focusing on suicidology. So suicide is the highest extent of self-defeating behavior, the extreme cases. Actually we are punishing ourselves. Reasons may be n number of reasons may be there. So we can't identify all the reasons. When we are identifying 10 reasons, another 11 reasons will be emerging. So at the end, what a person is punishing themselves because they are feeling one way or other way, it's not worthy to live in this world, so it's better to leave the world. So this is what is happening, especially we are in Kerala. We know that our suicide rate and all is more than double than the national rate and all. So the actual problem is self-compassion and kindness to ourselves is lacking. Otherwise, whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the context, whatever may be happen to us, we can think and we can be compassionate and we can go with our own evaluation system and we can have some other solution other than such kind of extreme decisions and all. So these are the problems which we will discuss in the periphery only usually. We won't discuss the real core issue that we are not kind to ourselves. So when we are looking for what we say peripheral issues, we may not be able to have a sustainable solution. Sometimes we may have immediate remedies, but that won't sustain. But if you are kind to yourself, whatever may be the issue, wherever you are, whenever it is happening, you can have your own internal system of kindness and compassion so that you can overcome it. You will have a different perspective of your context. So that's about self-compassion. I'm not going to the theoretical aspect and all. This is not the right place to do that. So second one is self-forgiveness. When I have started talking about self-kindness a few years ago, when I'm talking about self-forgiveness, one person in the audience surprised. So how can we forgive ourselves? If we can forgive others, what's the problem? We can forgive ourselves also. So again, it's a continuation of what we have discussed first. So we may have some issues, something happened, some mistakes we may commit, some errors may be there, but if it is happening to someone, many times we may be ready to forgive. Then why can't we do it to ourselves? When it is coming to ourselves, we may not forgive. So now, among the audience, you can think of certain times, occasions, you made some mistake, and how you dealt with such mistakes and all. Whether you blamed yourself, whether you may be very harsh to yourself, you are saying that I am not worthy and all, or sometimes you are trying to hide all those things happen. Or you are accepting that, yes, of course, I have committed a mistake, but this is not the end of the world. As a human being, that happened, and I may try to rectify it to the maximum possible extent. In future, I may try not to commit that mistake. So this is what we can forgive ourselves. But how many times we are doing that? So I doubt strongly, including me, because we don't have such practices. Now, when you are coming here, you are climbing all the steps and all, you are not falling down. But how many times you have practiced in your childhood to climb a step? Once you have practiced, it is become what we say, it's not a kind of a mechanical process that become an automatic process. So practice make us something which is automatic. By default, we will do that only. Now, if we want to fall, then also it is difficult. The same thing may be applicable while driving, learning to drive or learning to ride a bicycle and all. Once a process become automatic, then by default that will be coming in the mind first, and we will go with that. The same thing is applicable in the case of self-forgiveness also. Now the automatic processing is that to blame, to find fault with, to be more harsh and all, than pardoning ourselves. So we need to practice it initially, consciously we need to practice. Until and unless it's becoming a habit or it's becoming an automatic process. So all these things are starting from one particular thing that's called self-awareness. We need to be aware about where is our standpoint at present in terms of evaluating myself. So if, okay, at present if you are in the right track, that's well and good. But if it is not, we need to, again and again, we need to analyze, we need to have that awareness, we need to have conscious effort to excuse us, to forgive us. If we are not forgiving only, we are blaming ourselves, we may have guilt, we may have shame, so we may have fear of failure, and we may have suicidal thoughts, ideation, behavior, etc., like that. So all those things are there. Especially fear of failure is another thing. So now this many audience, these many people are here. At the end of it, there may be an interactive session. How many of you may interact with me without much hesitation? Fear of failure is a reason. Oh, the question which I am asking may be a relevant one. Yes, it is relevant for you. That is why you are asking. Who are others to judge that whether that is relevant or not? It's relevant for you. You think that it is relevant, you ask it. But you may think that that may not be okay. Others may laugh. Others may think that I know nothing. That's why this kind of stupid questions I am asking and all. So I may be a failure. So fear of failure, I may be hesitant to interact with. If you are not interacting a small audience like this, then a big audience, how will you deal? Then you will try to escape from such situation. At the end, what will happen? You may not be able to do justice to yourself. You will try to fly away from all such context. So finally, you will end up like that. So this is the problem. And fear of failure is not ending with all those things. And we especially, I have seen during interviews, viva voces and all, many a times we will be looking for the grammatical things, whether has or have, is or was, these, that and all, we will think, and because of that doubt, we will keep quiet. And usually many a times an interview may be a very small, limited process, right? Maybe 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, like that usually it would go. So that time, if you are keeping quiet, how the people will be able to evaluate you? They may not be. At the same time, there may be people, they may not be having that much conceptual clarity about the things, but they may communicate, they may be getting selected, because they are communicating based on that evaluation they will be. So fear of failure is working in many of the areas of our life. Even after your UG and PG, you need to go for further courses. You need to appear for examinations and all. I usually ask my students and all whether you have appeared for NET exam, the ARF exam and all. Some of them will tell that I haven't prepared, so I haven't done that. Again, that fear of failure is there. So why can't we make a try? What's the problem if you are making a trial? If you are not passing it, no one will kill you, no one will attack you, no one will tell any harsh words to you and all. But we are the biggest enemies of ourselves. Until and unless you are giving a license to conquer you, no one can defeat you, no one can conquer you. But this is another trap which we are doing. We have to have self-forgiveness so that I may make mistakes, but I will learn from that mistakes and I will try to improve myself day by day, moment by moment, so that I am pardoning myself. So this is another attitude we need to develop instead of the blaming, blaming attitude, or instead of the negative attitude we have at present. The next point about self-kindness, self-acceptance. This is another beautiful thing. And so you need not respond to me, but I have a question to all of you. How many of you are really accepting yourself based on your present condition? Whatever may be the present condition. It may be physical, emotional, cognitive, psychological, whatever it is. So you need not respond. You think in your mind. Again, when it is coming to acceptance, we will talk a lot about accepting others. We have to be broad-minded, open-minded, etc., like that, flexible. But when it is coming to ourselves, self-acceptance, how many of us are accepting ourselves? We need to seriously think about it. Again, when it is coming, we will look into the drawbacks of us. So we are making marks there, we are making criteria and we are evaluating ourselves. And many a times we will find reasons for not accepting our present status, our present context, ourselves in the present. So think seriously about it. If you are doing self-accepting, that's fine. And as we said, we in psychology, we are starting from one particular thing that is nothing other than uniqueness of the individual. So the fundamental statement of us that makes our discipline relevant is each and every individual is unique. So why we are not accepting ourselves? Again, comparison is coming. Comparison set by, or the criteria set by whom you are using to compare. Is the criteria set by you, or by the society, or by someone else? We need to think about it. So self-acceptance, if I am not accepting myself, you won't accept, of course. You may act that you are accepting for the time being, but definitely you won't. Because if I am not accepting, I will provide hints that I am not accepting myself indirectly. So others also will treat you like that only. The periphery they may appear to be, but it is not. So self-acceptance, what I am at present, I have to accept it. You may be okay, you may not be okay with it. If you are not okay with the present thing and you want to have some improvement in some aspect, you think about it. You seek further help from others, support from others. It may be from professionals, it may be from your mentors, it may be from your teachers, maybe from your well-wishers, whoever it is, so that you will improve, and that is the positive way we need to have. So don't think for everything perfect to accept yourself. There won't be such moment. So we need to have the attitude that whatever things are there, I am accepting, I am happy with what I am present, and I will try to improve further. Last night I was watching in YouTube, I was watching an interview of one of the budding journalists in Kerala. So she was telling that in that video, I am not bothered about what happened in the past, how others are talking about and all. I am happy at the present moment with what I have. And I am looking further for future, what I can improve, how can I improve, etc. like that. So again, self-acceptance is there. So if you are looking into what we have, many a times we don't have proper realization about what we have at present. Now look at the audience. We don't have much problem like all of our sense organs are paka, our intellect is paka, we can understand what we are talking, what we are discussing and all. Many n number of things you can identify as conducive for your further growth. But are we thinking like that? But are we evaluating like that? Or we are saying like that, or we are trying to find fault with ourselves and the context, it is because of that, it is because of this, I am not able to do that. Then you are not accepting yourself. Instead, you are engaging in self-hate. So it may be about your body, physical appearance, it may be about your emotionality, it may be about your interpersonal relationship, it may be about whatever may be in your life. So opposite of self-acceptance is self-hate, and you will have stringent criteria. Like in cognitive behavior therapy, we used to say that this kind of things, should, ought, must and all. We will call it as masturbation. So we will have such strict criteria to make accept us. We will fail if you are going with such kind of strict criteria and all. And the other thing we have already discussed. So instead of hate, self-hate, try to accept yourself with whatever you are at present and try to improve further with your conscious effort. So if you are kind, or if you want to be kind, then you need to practice the culture of self-acceptance. Sometimes maybe students, you may be saying that it is because of the college, it is because of the teachers, department, parents, the context, this medium I have studied, that medium I have studied, I haven't reached, etc. So I am not good, so I haven't reached. Actually, we are not accepting ourselves. Yes, of course, we have different contexts, we have different hurdles, we have different opportunities, challenges, everything. But at present, you accept and try to improve that, try to rectify that. That's a thing. When I am talking about this to the audience, I am looking into my life also. So actually, I am coming from a very remote area in Kerala. My home is very close to forest, just 1 kilometer away from forest. So during my time and all, no one is there to provide advice or provide suggestions. there is no internet, nothing at all. So no opportunities. So if I am blaming my context for not attaining something, not reaching, then I maybe end up there. So, but instead I thought that, okay, fine, all these things are there, but I may have some aim, I may have some interest, so I will look into the opportunities and I try to do that. Of course, such hindrances are there, but that hindrances are providing us a force. It is just like a fast bowler bowling with maximum speed and a talented batsman is just sliding it away to 4 or 6. Just an uppercut is sufficient to make it 6. So there the batsman is not using the force of him, but using the force of the adverse condition, maybe the fast ball. So like that, we need to take energy from our own context. Whatever we are thinking, that's a problem. If we are just making it, reframing it, we can have energy from that adverse circumstances which you think as adverse as the starting point of your further development. So for that, we need to have the idea of self-acceptance. Then, gratitude to ourselves. So we have a lot of gratitude to others, right? We are expressing, I also expressed it in the beginning to the organizers regarding the opportunities provided. But how many times we are actually grateful to ourselves? This is another question. Is it really needed? We need to be grateful to ourselves? Yes, of course. So after the corona outbreak, when I was taking the class, I told that we have to be grateful to ourselves because we have overcome such a pandemic. And many of the people with whom we may be very close to, we may be knowing in our neighborhood and all vanished during that time. But we were able to withstand such adverse conditions. So we have to be grateful. And like that daily, there may be many occasions we can be grateful to ourselves too. So there are certain strategies that I will talk at the end to have to develop what we say self-acceptance, being kind to yourself and all. So one is something like called the gratitude journaling. We need to find each and every day. We need to find something to be grateful to yourself. Okay, how can we be grateful to ourselves? That is something very bad. That's what we may think that it's like boosting ourselves. We will call SP and all. Now I don't know your new gen terminology. I don't know. You may have some new gen terminology for that, right? So, like it's not. It's not. Actually, we need to be grateful to ourselves. Each and every moment we are able to pass, we have to be grateful to ourselves because we are taking an effort for that. We are not recognizing it. That's a problem. We are recognizing others' effort, but we are not recognizing our effort. So, you have taken a lot of effort as students, as teachers, you are taking a lot of effort to pass each moment, pass each day, pass each stage and all. How many times you appreciated your effort? I don't know. You may be thankful to your teachers, you may be thankful to the institution, but how many times you are thankful to yourself? Yes, I took this much effort. That's one of the major reasons I am able to withstand that, overcome that, achieve that, etc. like that. So this is something called self-gratitude. This is really a completely forgotten or completely hidden aspect in our life which we need to cherish. So I request everyone to think later, try to identify something which you can be grateful to yourself. Right. So identify what you are grateful to yourself for and you make journaling. You can have different strategies for that. And initially you may struggle, but later you will be really wondering. It will really boost your confidence, your esteem, and your worth as a human being, etc. like that. And definitely that will be acting as a big motivator for you. So those who are interested can start practicing. Respect yourself. This is actually a part of that self-acceptance. But this is a little bit differently I am treating. So, how many times when something happened and all, you scolded yourself? Ah, stupid fellow. Okay, I'm good for nothing. Like what others are telling. Maybe others are also telling like that. So you are also endorsing it like that. By making it like this, sometimes making something like that, sometimes you may throw something and frustration, etc. like that, and making this kind of statements and all. I'm an unfit. I don't know. I can't do it. I'm not okay for this position. Actually, this is again disastrous. So the same thing in the case of interview. Many of my friends, even my friends, they will talk about some opportunities, but they won't send an application for it. So I used to tell my students, my friends, everyone who is asking an opinion about sending an application for some posts, some courses, etc. like that. If you have the minimum eligibility, you have to send. If you are sure that you have the minimum eligibility, you have to send. Otherwise, if I have some opportunities, if I am not sending an application, they may not know that there is a person called Maman Joseph is there, and they won't come to my home and invite me for that position and all usually. Rarely that may happen, but it's not that common. So what we need to do, we should not feel that I am unfit. Why are you harsh to yourself? You send an application, let others decide whether you are fit or not, unfit. But we won't, we will decide again. So we need to have that respect. Yes, I am eligible. I will make a maximum effort from my part. I won't say maximum effort, something like that. My part, with my context, my background, my abilities, my potentials, my education, whatever I have, I will try maximum effort and I will try for it. So you need to have that respect to yourself. Yes, I am fit for it. If you are saying that you are not fit, then someone else will say that you are fit. That's also not that common. So we need to look into, and the terminology. Some people usually make use of such negative terminology, negative words like that. So maybe you may have some frequent attempts on something and you may not be able to achieve, but that doesn't mean that you are not worthy. You are worthy, but the words which you are using, I am good for nothing, I am zero, I am a misfit, I am a worthless person, etc., like that. Words are very powerful. So because you have to be very careful with words. If you are using such negative words, it will be acting like a boomerang and it will come to you and it will actually affect your entire life. So instead of that, okay, if you are not successful with some attempt on something, you review the situation. What happened? Whether my preparation was the problem, or whether some contextual problem, some other problem, some problems which is beyond my hand, that was the issue. So we need to analyze the situation and then we need to improve the next time. Which aspect I am not okay, right? That is the positive way we need to do that. But instead the easiest way is saying that, okay, I have tried 3 times, so I am leaving, giving up. Giving up is very easy. But coming back is not that easy. For that you need to have perseverance. You need to have that much strength within you that you need to develop. And whoever changed the world in different ways, they all have that perseverance. With one attempt it may not happen. Many attempts it may be happen. I used to have the metaphor of a river, how a river is flowing. It is starting just as a small stream and different streams are joining and then it is starting to flow towards the ocean. Final destination is that. When the river is moving or flowing towards the ocean, the journey is not a streamline all the time. Sometimes it may be turbulent. A lot of obstacles are there. Sometimes it may be big rocks. Sometimes it may be mountains may be there. Sometimes hillocks may be there. Sometimes depth may be there. But have you seen ever a river stopped its flow because of the hindrances in front? I never saw. I haven't. But instead what it is doing, if it is a big mountain, it will try to make a different route surrounding the mountain. It will make a round and it will find a way. If it is a hillock, then the river knows that there is no need to take a deviation. Instead I can cut the hillock into 2. I can split it. I can flow there. But perseverance is needed. One day it won't happen. Maybe many years I have to flow, then only I may be able to make that. That is why all the valleys and all these things are there. And sometimes there may be whirlpools, sometimes there may be big falls, but it never stops its flow. Finally it will reach into its final destination, that's the ocean. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? I don't know, sir. They're just playing games there. Is it? No? Then I will come there and I will see. I will also join with the game which you are playing. Right? Okay. Then the next thing, that is avoid perfectionism. So many of the academicians, we used to say that we have this problem. And many people, they have the problem of perfectionism. So again, I have talked about it in the beginning. We need not be perfect, instead we try to excel. What will happen to a perfectionist? A perfectionist won't do anything with justice to their potential. So say for example, some of you may have the problem of perfectionism. You may be a brilliant student and your teacher has given an assignment to you. So maybe deadline is after 1 month. You have to submit something. If you are a perfectionist, from the day one you will try to, okay, some are smiling, this is not applicable to us. No, this is applicable to you also. So yeah, from the day one you may try to get things for completing the assignment. So you may go, you may search, you may think, you will download a lot of materials and all. And the process is going on, and if you are a perfectionist, you will go with the downloading till one day before the submission. Because you are not satisfied with the available materials. You want more and more and more, and you will search. But you won't spend some time to read it properly. Then tomorrow is the deadline. Then you have to submit. Then you will submit something in a hurry that won't do any justice to your potential. So a perfectionist is like that. They will keep on postponing things. Procrastination. Okay, I will do tomorrow, I will do day after tomorrow, because today my knowledge is not okay. So I will learn, I will read something more today. Then I will postpone, after that day after tomorrow I will do. Then tomorrow you will get some more piece of information that again you need to read. So you will postpone one more day. So like that it will be going like that. So I had the problem of perfectionism. Then accidentally I started reading a neuropsychology book. And in the book, in the preface part, the author has beautifully made a narration of a story of a person who is a perfectionist. So in the story, the person wanted to be very good, well versed with English language. So for that he started learning English with a lot of enthusiasm. When we started learning English, he realized that English is a language which is borrowed a lot of things from other languages like Sanskrit, Greek, Roman, etc. like that. So then he decided, okay, English has a lot of borrowed words there from Roman. Then I had to first learn Roman. So he started to learn Roman. He learned that. Then he realized there are a lot of Latin words are there. So I have to learn Latin, then only I will be having very good command over English. He learned Latin also. Then Sanskrit, there are words there in English. So he searched for a few years to find a Sanskrit Pandit. Finally he identified a person who is okay with his criteria. Started learning under him. After 5-6 years of learning, the Pandit was very old and he died. So now this person almost spent some 15 years to learn English. And finally Sanskrit learning is not happened. Since he is a perfectionist, he couldn't accomplish the task. And he couldn't identify another Pandit equally good like this person. So he dropped the entire idea of learning English. So this is the fate of a perfectionist. We will look for the latest information, all the information in the world related to things, and everything is pakka with us, then only we will make a try. So this is the problem. So again, we are not kind to ourselves, we are not that much flexible, we are very rigid with our own criteria. So we may be a perfectionist, and we won't end up with, or we won't do any justice to our potentials. We won't achieve nearby it. But at the same time, I am not promoting you should not do all those things. Instead of that, okay, you know that I have 30 days available in front of me to do that. Then within that maximum available information I will collect with this many days. This many days is needed for reading and reviewing. This many days are needed for writing it and revising the draft, etc. like that. We need to plan and execute that particular task within the available time with the best available resources. This is what is excellence. The other side, the negative thing is perfectionism. So we need to have this demarcation between excellence and perfectionism. There's a thin line between it. So you yourself, you evaluate whether you have perfectionist tendencies. This is not only related to studies. It may be related to any aspect of your life. And in the extreme form and all, sometimes it may be leading to some kind of disorder also. So you may not be okay with many things, and you will try to make everything in its perfect place, perfect order, etc. like that. So think about all these things and try to excel, to understand that we are not perfect, so error is human and we need to forgive ourselves, and again try to excel. And we have to have that clear understanding that being or try to be perfect sometimes may be really disastrous to ourselves. So be kind to yourself, be flexible to yourself, and try to excel in whichever field you are doing. It may be studies, it may be a dance practice which you are doing, it may be a singing competition, it may be a drawing or painting, whatever it is. Or sometimes it may be a dish which you are preparing. So I don't look for all the things properly. It's like the story of an Ayurveda Vaidyan went to a market. So there are few people, they were staying together during their studies, like many of us may be doing. So then daily turn will be there. One person has to go to market, another person has to prepare, another person has to clean the vessels, etc. like that. So one particular day the turn is of a person, he is an Ayurveda Vaidyan. He went to market, vegetable market, to buy vegetable. So he picked brinjal first. So then he looked, brinjal, okay, brinjal, since Ayurveda they know all these things. So brinjal is not okay, it is not good for what we say, tridoshas, that vadam, pittam, kapham. So this is not okay for kapham, it may increase it, so I won't take it. He is taking another vegetable, again he is finding fault with it, he is keeping it. So like that, everything, one or other fault is there, finally he came with empty basket. So we will be like that, because we may have lot of things that may have n number of pluses, positives, but we will be look for that perfect thing and we will end up with 0. So this is the problem. So we need to think about it. So again, it's an attitude. Self-recognition. Recognition is really good, right? Actually, recognition is a magical thing. So sometimes money can do many things, but recognition can do wonder. So now you all are working for this particular conference. At the end, if a word of appreciation and recognition is there from maybe from the principal or the management and all, you will be more happy than getting a 500 rupees incentive for the work. Am I right or wrong? So recognition is like that, but we are very poor in recognizing and appreciating others as well as ourselves. So many times today you all had a very good lunch, I hope. So like that, daily at home, a person, usually our mothers in most of them, they are making very nice dishes, or sometimes you may be making, whoever is. How many times we are appreciating and recognizing that effort? Maybe a smile, no need to say every time super, 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 then super is not having a value. Sometimes it may be a smile when you are eating and tasting that food. That is a recognition of the person who made it. They will look at your face when you are eating it. Sometimes you may make a surprise when you are preparing a special dish and you are giving it to a person simply eating and without making any expression and going out. How will you feel? Same way, how many times you are appreciating yourself for your achievements? The moment we have started this discussion or this interactive session, and this time, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, maybe many people died, right? In different parts of the world. We are alive. Are we recognizing it? We are not. We are not, right? Something that is really a thing we have to recognize as a good thing that happened to ourselves. So, like that, n number of, I can't say, only you can say that which all things are happening in your life. Maybe from the morning you may be interacting with the different people from different colleges. You may be learning a new thing maybe. Are you recognizing and appreciating you? Oh, okay, I am good. Yes, mom, and you are really good. You have done a very good job. Are you doing it? No need to do it like this. You can have your own ways. But we are not recognizing. So we don't have the habit of recognizing others. Also, it's poor. When it is coming to ourselves, it is very poor. And we need to practice. Your confidence will boost like anything, and your esteem will be boost like anything. And find n number of things. At the end of the day, when you are reflecting on your day, that particular day, you find n number of points to recognize your effort, so that you can have. So at least you all are, whether it is with your will or not, anyway, you came here and attending this session. So that is another thing you can recognize, right? Many others may not be, they may be free, but they may not be. But if you can say that, okay, I went for that and I learned something, or I heard something, I thought about something because of that, that's another point to recognize. Like very small to very big things will be there in a day to recognize. So self-recognition should be there. Be identifying your, maybe your talents or your skills. Sometimes all of a sudden you may be, that Allah moment will be there, surprise will be there. So you may be surprised, I have this skill and all. Are you recognizing and appreciating that? So as a child, I read a lot of books. And one of my favorite childhood book was Robinson Crusoe. It's written by Daniel Defoe. So not less than 8 times I have read the entire book. It's talking about the story of a shipwrecked sailor. He was there, captured there in an isolated island. Lonely, he was lonely. Then he started to live there, a lot of challenges was there. Then finally he is able to identify a lot of hidden talents in him. So he learned how to cultivate things. He learned how to preserve things for the off-season times and all, like dry fruits which you are making. He learned that he has the ability to make vessels. He can be a good potter, and he know that how to make that vessel in a very strong way it is. So like that he is learning. Like that we are also learning many things, but we are not recognizing and we are not appreciating it. If we are not recognizing, how will you utilize it? So we need to recognize ourselves, our talents, our potential. We need to be flexible. So we should not be looking ourselves with a lens of criticism. Instead, we need to have a flexible lens to look at us. Then we can recognize. So again, coming the importance of being kind to yourself. There. It may be boring, right? It's a monologue. Is it? I can hear snoring sound from last bench. You can sleep but don't snore, right? Yeah. Build trust in yourself. This is another important thing, building trust in yourself. How many of you really have trust in yourself, your capabilities? Many? Someone told yes, right? I heard sound only, but the person is not ready to say that. You? No? Look, then you don't have trust. If you have trust, then you will say that it's me. Yes? Okay, good. So, build trust in yourself. Trust is a magical thing. We have a lot of trust in other people also. But we won't recognize it. We have a lot of trust in ourselves also. Look, now you are comfortably sitting on all these chairs. Am I right? Very comfortable seating it is. You trust the person who built it. That's why you are comfortably sitting. But we are not recognizing that we trust that person. We are sitting under this roof because we have trust on the person who constructed it. If not, every time we will be thinking like that, oh, whether it will fall down or not, we don't have peace of mind. So trust is there in each and every moment, each and every aspect of our life, but unrecognized. The same way, you need to build trust on yourself. Yes, I have the ability to do that. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can be like that. Yes, I can try that. How many times we have that? How many times you try to build trust in yourself? Oh. Many times we are trying to build trust on others. Sometimes it may fail, sometimes it may work. But how many times you have made a conscious effort to build trust in yourself? Think about it. So building trust in yourself is an important thing, and that's again an important aspect of self-confidence. You need to trust yourself, then only you will have confidence. If I am not trusting in myself, then I can't do it. Maybe a very simple issue may be there, but if I don't build that trust on my capability to resolve it, I will think that it's a big puzzle. I may not even try to resolve that puzzle because I am sure that I don't have the ability to do that because I never trusted my abilities. So if I am trusting on myself, my abilities, then only when challenges are there in life, I usually don't want to say problem. Every problem is a challenge, and every challenge is an opportunity. So when demonetization came, it was a challenge for millions of people, but it was an opportunity for Paytm. When COVID was a challenge for billions of people, it's an opportunity for many others. Zoom is an example. Right? Overnight, the value and worth of the company changed. So like that, if we have trust in ourselves, then only this magic will happen. Otherwise, naturally, this magic won't happen. So build trust in yourself, make conscious effort to build that trust in yourself. Appreciate your uniqueness. We have started from uniqueness. How many times you try to recognize your uniqueness and appreciate it? Yes, your uniqueness. What is the thing which is distinguishing you from others? Your idiosyncrasies. Everyone is having their idiosyncrasies. So how many times you are recognizing that? So many a times we are engaged in, most of the time, in comparison than identifying our uniqueness. Every person is a talented person. The talent may be different. I may have some talent. I may have a talent in teaching. But if I am thinking and I am looking Michael Johnson and I want to be a sprinter like Michael Johnson, then I may not be. Or like Usain Bolt. I may not be. I have to recognize, understand, appreciate my uniqueness, and I try to foster and enhance that unique aspect. So everyone with that unique aspect, if you are identifying and trying to foster it, you will have a unique place in this world. Everyone will appreciate it. So I have studied there, myself and Srinivasan have studied in MG University campus. Nearby university, a medical college is there. So all doctors, other staff, everyone is moving there. They are seeing different people and all. But there was an attender in that medical college. The story is something about some 30 years ago. And this attender, he is having very less salary, difficult to live and have with the family and all. But he identified that there are people there in the street and no one is there to take care of them. So he started a very small initiative to have a small shelter home like initiative. He started with his own money, his own effort and all. And it was a very humble small beginning and all. But now after 30 years, that particular, that become an organization. Now that organization is able to provide work as a shelter home for dozens or hundreds of people, destitute people there. They are taking care of. And they are providing free food to all those people. They want food in the medical college twice in a day. So look, one small attender, he can think that, oh, I am an attender. So if big doctors are with a 2 lakh salary, 1.5 lakh of salary, they are also seeing all those things. Why should I? He never thought like that. He identified his uniqueness. Okay, I can make a try. Why should I look into others? I can do this much. So he started with saving one person. Then after that, some more. Then someone came to know that he is doing this service. Then they also extend a helping hand. So gradually it developed. He identified his uniqueness. He never made a comparison. Many other attenders are there. He never thought of. Doctors are there, nurses are there, big rich people are there, other organizations are there. He never thought of. And now he got lot of awards, lot of laurels and all. That's different. But what I want to say, he identified his uniqueness, he appreciated, and based on that he acted based on that unique attitude. And that made him a distinguished person, a unique person. How many times we are trying to identify our uniqueness? Many a times we are thinking we are also like another person. So then who can help you? So try to identify your uniqueness That uniqueness will help you. That uniqueness will help you to do justice to your potential. And after some time, you will be appreciated by others, and the world will be helped by you because of your uniqueness. You can be worthy, you can be proud of yourself because you focused on that. And the thing is, again, we have to have perseverance. Now our issue is that the present day world is looking for immediate gratification, immediate result. We don't have perseverance. How many of you tried to make fire using a magnifying lens? Anyone? You have made that experiment there, maybe in the high schools or by yourself right there. What all things are necessary to create fire using a magnifying lens? Sunlight, paper, lens. Someone told. Talent. Hand we need to have, yes. Patience. And one more thing. Concentration, okay. It is focus. The lens is there. If it is not focused, fire won't be there. So you need to you may have sunlight, you may have a lens, you may have a paper, but you need to have patience. You need to be focused and be patient, and that focus should be there on the paper. After some time, fire will be there. But if you are making it and after a few seconds, oh, no fire, then it's not correct procedure, and changing and changing and changing. Even you are trying for billions of years, you may not be able to make. So our life is like that many times. If you are looking for immediate result, you may never get it. But you need to have perseverance, you need to have focus and patience. So both together called perseverance, then you may be able to do that. So you appreciate and identify your uniqueness and be focused and be patient. Definitely that uniqueness will have returns with compound interest. So that's the importance. And for that, again, the other word is very important. Philosophy of life. Philosophy itself many don't like. Then philosophy of life, this is nothing other than how are you looking your life. It's nothing other than that. Your perspective about life, that is your philosophy. But one thing is sure, whether you know or you do not know, you have to have a philosophy. Because that is the core fundamental thing that is propelling you. So without that, so now I am asking, what is your goal? You may be saying that X or Y is your goal. I may ask further question, why this X or Y goal? Then you may say another answer. I may ask again and again and again, and finally you may end up with one fundamental answer that is reflective of your philosophy of life. So this is very important. Again, appreciating uniqueness. Your philosophy may be your philosophy, not someone else's philosophy. That makes you a different person. That makes you a unique person. So for that also, you need to have that flexibility to analyze, to understand what is that uniqueness within you. It should not be someone else's frame. It should be your frame. So usually we will have some frame and we will try to fit with that frame. It's equally likely you are buying a shoe, and if that size is not matching, you are trying to cut your legs. So that's what many times we are doing. Someone else's is maybe the society, others, they are making a frame. You forget about your uniqueness and you are trying to adjust with the frame. So either you may make some kind of, you may make some chip, you may make some polishing, and finally you will try to fit. Uniqueness is gone. So you identify it, you make that frame, and that is matching with your uniqueness. So this is another important aspect. And if you are self-critical, if you are too rigid, if you are flexible, you may not be able to do it. Again, the frame is the same thing as conditions of work. The others' evaluations and conditions they put to tell that you are worthy. It should not be the case. You make the frame and make fit with that. Rediscover yourself. One entire session I used to take on this topic. So, you just imagine, we all need to imagine that occasionally how we thought of what were our dreams during our childhood. As a child, we all had some dreams, right? Oh, now we have forgotten even. No expressions. I think either we are afraid of thinking of that, or we might have forgotten because of the other conditioning. I don't know. So as a child, we have a lot of dreams. Are we going with that dreams? Are we going with your dreams? Or are you going with someone else's dreams? Think about it. You need not answer me. I am no one to get that answer. But you think within. So we need to rediscover somewhere in this journey, we lost our essence. As a child, I have a lot of enthusiasm, spirit, a lot of dreams, etc. was there about my life journey, my goal, etc. like that. But where am I in relation to that? Where is that lost child within? So there is a lost child within. We need to rediscover that lost child within. So again, that's part of being kind. If we are kind to ourselves, then only we can have that internal journey. So we need to look back and try to rediscover, if possible, try to do justice to that lost child. Sometimes it may not be possible. If possible, do that. But this rediscovering is very important, because that will remind us what actually we are. The previous point, uniqueness, which is already gone for many of us. So rediscover yourself, and that's another important aspect. And try to cherish your dreams also. So far we have talked about certain aspects, its importance and all related to be kind to ourselves. These are some known benefits of being kind to yourself. Actually, a lot of studies are conducted. Now we are following scientific tradition and methods, right? A lot of studies are conducted. How this being kind, having self-compassion and all is helping us. See, these studies have proven that if a person is more kind to themselves, or being self-compassion if they have, then it may helpful in the production of various neurochemicals, various hormones, which may help us to be in the condition of well-being or happiness. Only a few I have mentioned. This is not an all-inclusive list. So endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, then reduction of cortisol levels, because if cortisol is high, then stress level will be more, and immune function will be more. Then prefrontal cortex, actually prefrontal cortex is very important for decision making and related things and all. So it will activate it like that. So a lot of studies are now proven, a lot of randomized control trials, experimental studies, interventions are conducted, and it's proven that being kind to ourselves will be helpful in increasing certain neurochemicals and hormones, regulating certain others, reducing certain others, like that. So it is not simply, we are not simply talking like that, this will help that and all. We have an evidence-based background is there, which says us, if you are being kind, indirectly this way your well-being is assured. So that's how scientifically we can prove what we are talking is having a scientific backup and background. Why I am emphasizing, because many are questioning when we are talking in terms of psychology and what this and this is connected, then they may question us how it is connected. This is how it is connected in one way. These are some strategies. Again, this is not made on a specific order, no. This is not all-inclusive list and all. There are certain very simple strategies which you can make use of to enhance self-compassion, enhance kindness in you, etc. like that. So we can have a journaling. Journaling is simply you write. Journaling is, while hearing the term, you may think that this is something very big. Nothing. It is simply, even you can scribble your reflections about yourself. You can have journaling for self-reflection. So I used to tell my students like that, day-to-day basis you need to reflect on yourself. No need of much time for it. Maybe even 1 minute is sufficient in a day. One qualitative minute. Whenever you are comfortable, there is no need of a specific space and time for engaging in self-reflection. At the end of the day, we can reflect on us. What all happened today? What all I have learned? What is the reflection? How can I make some improvement in some aspect and all, maybe based on that? what is my experience, how it is beneficial to us. Like n different ways are there for reflecting on ourselves. So self-reflection is one way, so that may indirectly help you to be more kind to yourself. Setting healthy boundaries, or otherwise I put it as assertiveness. It is nothing other than you need to say no when you really want to say no, and you want to say yes when you really want to say yes. And also you need to differentiate when to say no and when to say yes. So many a times when some work is assigned on us and all, we know that I may not be able to accomplish it within this time frame. But since we are looking many other complexities, we will say yes, I will do. But at that moment itself we know that we can't. Actually we will have to say no, but we will say yes. Then what will happen from the next day? When the other person who assigned the work is coming that way, you will go this way. You won't face the person. Or you will try to find excuses for not accomplishing it. You will say that I am not well, this, that, and that. And daily you are saying this to yourself. Finally, after 3 or 4th day, you will feel sick. You will fall sick. So this is another thing. So we have to set boundaries up to what extent we can go, up to what extent we can say yes, or when we can say yes, when we can say no, etc. like that. Actually, many of the issues related to interpersonal relationship, you can really manage with a proper use of your assertiveness skill. So, again, assertiveness is another aspect which I want to say the points without hurting the other person. I have to say that, okay, what you have told, I am little bit hurt by that. But I can understand this may be the context and all, but I am not okay with that particular behavior of you. I am not saying that I am not okay with you. I am not saying that you are not good. I am saying that that specific behavior which you have shown is not okay for me. Because we are not focusing on the person. We are not saying that the person is not good. We are saying that specific behavior is not good. This is what is assertiveness. So we have to set boundaries or assertiveness so that again we can be in a condition of that self-kindness. Or we won't be in such troubles and all. And many times we are not trusting us, so we may be try to please others, so we won't be assertive, we may give some other reply. So if we know ourselves, then we will give a proper response to other persons. That is how it's related. Practice of gratitude journaling. This already we have discussed. Self-gratitude. Gratitude to others also you can do. Both you can do. So gratitude to others also you can journal. Gratitude towards about yourself also you can do that. Either you can write. And sometimes we will say some trick and all called gratitude jar and all. It may be like a piggy bank, kuduka for kids. Okay. So you can put daily. Okay, self-gratitude. These are the things today. Make small chits and put it in the piggy bank or a jar or somewhere. And you look after 1 week or 1 month or after some time, and you can take it and read it. You may wonder, and it will be really encouraged. So this is called, if you are writing, it is called attitude journaling. If you are putting it in a jar and all, that's a kind of gratitude jar or whatever. It's like that. So this is a very simple trick which anyone can do. It's very simple. Then mindful breathing and relaxation technique. Actually, when Neff, she had developed the idea of self-compassion, 3 core aspects were there in that, and one of the aspect is mindfulness. And now we are talking a lot about mindfulness. We are talking, but we are not practicing, we are not understanding. So shall I ask you one question? Today you have taken your lunch. How many of you were mindful when you are eating? What all you ate? We need to think. Right? How many of you have really tasted that food? Really enjoyed that each bite? Oh, each bite if you are enjoying, then we won't be here for the session. Is it? Huh? So, but we are not. Actually, mindful means what all activity you are engaged, you focus and concentrate completely on that. That is what being in the present in a different way. We will think that we are all doing that, but many a times we may not be. So we need to have that mindfulness exercises. Different exercises are there. So like metta meditation, living kindness meditation is another theme. Like different exercises are there. That lot of strategies are available. I'm not going to give that things now. When you start enjoying that minor things and all, then things will feel differently. I had personal experience also. So I also used to take food very fast and all. So when one day one of my friends, he used to practice meditation, mindfulness meditation and all. During our chit chat, he told that this is how he is practicing and all. He had given an example with an orange. So he has taken an orange and one small piece he has taken. He told us, this is how I am eating an orange. So he's taking a very small piece, he's putting it, he just have a small bite, then he is enjoying that juice is coming from it, what is the taste, and he is taking many seconds to hold it and then swallow it. By that time, I used to take 2-3 oranges. I'm not kidding, that time that was the habit. I am eating oranges, but I never enjoyed that. But when I started practicing, I really experienced that difference, what is actually mindful eating. I am not a good person of practice of mindfulness, but I am trying to do that. So this is just a piece of thing I have given. It's not only about eating, whatever it is. Whether it may be playing, it may be studying, listening to music, talking to someone. Talking to someone is another big funny thing nowadays. Someone will be talk to us. We may be in our own world with maybe messaging, maybe responding, maybe looking things and all, or thinking about something happened that day and all. So maybe 10% only we will listen. We will respond, oh, aha, ihi, oh. All those things are there. But finally what you have listened? Oh. Especially in the family sphere and all, you know, this is one of the biggest problems. Our spouses and all, kids, they may be telling something, we may be with this phone or something else and all. Finally, we won't hear the essence what they want to tell. We may hear something periphery and all, and finally it may be a big trouble and it will be really funny. So we have to be mindful what we are doing. That's what I want to say. So n number of techniques are there to be mindful, which is comfortable for you. You try to practice it. That's what I want to say. Celebrate small achievements. Celebrating small achievements doesn't mean that even for a small thing you need to give a big party for some 1,000 people and all. No. You can celebrate. Yes. Very good, Mom and Joseph. You have done it. This is an appreciation and celebration. So you can have. Yes. People are making like that. Right? Sports persons are usually making. Yes. Like that they are boosting themselves with that. So celebrate even small accomplishment. So then you may say that there is no accomplishment. Is it so? There are a lot of accomplishments. You just count today how many accomplishments you have. Oh, difficult. It's not difficult. If you start, then you can identify many accomplishments even a single day. So you celebrate it. That's an internal feeling which you have. So you need to cherish that. Then, treat yourself as you would a friend of yourself. That's what in the beginning I told. We may say that others, it's okay, it may happen, we are human beings, others will be there, it's okay like that. But when it is to ourselves, we won't do that. So we need to treat how we will be treating others like that, we need to treat ourselves also in a way. With that spirit you need to take it, not with the peripheral thing, right? So that's another way we can foster that kindness to ourselves. Then, learn from mistakes with compassion. So usually we are learning or understanding our mistake with blame. I have learned that why it happened and all. I want try to do that. Like that you need to have a positive self-talk to yourselves. So that will help you. Set realistic goals. So sometimes we may set unrealistic goals and then we may fail and then we will be critical and again it may affect us. So when we are setting goals, we need to evaluate and we need to set a realistic goal. Like I told the case of Usain Bolt, if I want to run like Usain Bolt now, it's not possible. So if I am setting that is my goal, within 6 months I will be the new world record holder of 100-meter race. That's an unrealistic goal. And finally, I may not be able to achieve that and I may be critical, oh, you are good for nothing, you haven't achieved it, you set a target and all. That's not right. So we have an evaluation of ourselves and based on that set a realistic goal that will help us to do that. So we can be more compassionate to ourselves. Then engage in self-care activities. Self-care activities may be anything. So it may be a massaging to your hair. It may be taking a pedicure, manicure. It may be like that. It may be simply taking a very good bath. It may be, or spending some time to arranging your things properly. Anything may be it is self-care activities, which you may be okay with that. So you can be more kind to yourself indirectly when you are spending some time for yourself. So actually we are spending a lot of time, but is it really for ourselves? That's a question. Then this already like gratitude jar, you can have that self-kindness jar. Then the last point in this I want to say, it's about connect with nature. So actually with our lifestyle and all, we are being little bit away from nature. So we need to re-establish that connection. Here I was telling my friends like that this is a beautiful campus, a lot of trees are there, natural beauty is there and all. And there are a lot of places to sit and enjoy nature and all. It may be the same case, maybe there in our neighborhood also, right, where we are living. But how many times actually we are really connected to nature? I doubt. We all having this hurry-burry lifestyle and all. Even many beautiful things, many things in our nearby nature and all, we are not able to. We lost that connection, and that's another thing, that lifestyle is again make us little bit critical, rigid, etc., harsh to ourselves, etc., like that. So this is another way we will be little more flexible and kind to ourselves. I am not extending this monologue much. I may be ending the presentation. These are references. So the slide will be here, so I don't want to show the references also for the presentations I have made. So with this I am winding up the presentation. If rest of time is available, then we can have interactions. So I am really thankful to all of you for your listening. I know that if I am there in your place, I may be sleeping, because definitely it is a really challenging thing to be awake and be attentive in an afternoon session after a very good lunch. So it's really difficult. So I'm really thankful to all of you. So now the floor is open to you. I used to tell my students, when you are getting an opportunity to interact with someone, you grab the maximum from that person, you extract maximum. So the same thing I want to say. Now I am here, tomorrow I won't be here. So this is an opportunity for you to interact with me. So any queries, any comments, anything, anyone, or hesitation is still there?
A bit confused about the word perfectionism, because normally in my research life always, whenever my supervisor asked for the paper writing, you won't get a proper appreciation in the beginning time, because always we can find out a lot of mistake. Even right now I am also facing, because whenever I ask students to write a document, prepare a document or something, I can see a lot of spelling mistakes. Okay, so how we can take this perfectionism? So because in my point of view, if I want to get that satisfaction, all that minor mistake, even that spelling error or something, must be perfectly correct. With that spelling error, I can't accept that documents.
Completely in agreement with Srini's comment. I am also agreeing with that. I am also the same kind of person. So my own student here, they will face a lot of difficulty with me also with this kind of things. But that doesn't mean that I will accept a perfect piece of thing. In their context, this is their ability and this is what the maximum they can do within that context. So if I know them, their ability, then there is a limit for them to do at that moment. So with that I have to accept. They tried, they again tried, and with the available information, they have made a document. Of course, spelling mistake and other things, definitely it should not be. But perfectionism means, it's beyond that. So then I need to know the entire idea related to the construct or the concept which I want to communicate. Maybe in the case of a journal article or manuscript which you are preparing. It may not be possible. This is the context, only this much access they have. and maybe up to papers that published in up to 2020 only they may have access. If I know that, with that I will accept that paper. Definitely, spelling mistake, grammar, other things, definitely they have to do that. But if I am perfect, I will say that no, you have to read 2024 January published journals and papers also, then only I will. By the time they are writing, it may be again February or March, again I will say that you update it. It is a never-ending process. So this is what a real perfectionist is doing. But the other things are lapses. That is not coming under perfectionism. That's what we need to try to be excel in our field. Because the person studying in UG or PG or PhD level, definitely spelling mistakes they can understand, they have to avoid. If they are not that much good with the grammar and all, at least they can seek the help of someone there knowing the grammar and all. There are a lot of content editors, copy editors, and maybe friends from other disciplines, they may be having good command over language and all. At least that effort they have to take. Such things are not coming under perfectionism. That is about excellence. But a perfectionist will look all these things. I'll give you one example. Again, another friend of mine, he was a researcher in political science. So even after 13 years, he has not completed his research. I asked him, I went one day in the hostel, I went back after many years, I went to his room. Many slaughtered angles are there in his hostel room, full of big binded books, photocopies and all. Then I was asking, what all you are doing? He's telling, I am downloading and taking a copy of all those things and keeping it for reading. I asked, how much you read? For my surprise, he told, I haven't started my reading. 13th year of PhD. I'm not kidding. He is a good friend of mine. Somehow he completed PhD a few years ago. So then I haven't counseled, I scolded because he's a friend of me. I scolded right and left. Then you start reading and you start writing. Otherwise, being perfect, why to download? He is traveling to go for many libraries, many websites, other things, and keeping things in big hard external hard disk and all, and taking copies and keeping it. That is a perfectionist. If someone is not intervening, they will go like that. Maybe even after 20 years, he won't. Then after that, that topic may not be relevant. That happened to another friend of mine in research. He started with one particular regional issue, and he was in the 7th year of research. So it all happened in the past. Now I think 5 or 6 years maximum. So 7th year of his research, that regional issue is gone. 7 years he studied, collected, reviewed, writing. Now that issue is vanished. That issue is over. It's irrelevant now. What to do? So we need to understand that's a volatile thing. It may vanish. Sometimes it may vanish with it. So I need to complete it 3 year or 4 year. Then it is a relevant thing. But if I am being a perfectionist and extending it for 7th year and now it is irrelevant, what to do? I need to start from the scratch with another topic, or I need to leave. It's a problem of a perfectionist. I am not talking about that minor mistakes and not definitely what all within our capacity we need to. But certain things are beyond that at that context. These people may be able to do that maybe in a later point of time. So there is no point of comparing a UG student, a PhD student and a PhD scholar in the same way. Same topic we may be asking them to write a small writing. Our expectations are different from a UG student, a PhD student and a scholar. So based on that we may say that. As PhD scholar we are expecting a much better manuscript. For a PG scholar, we know that their capability and capacity, and based on that, it's like that. And we won't make this differentiation, that's a problem.
Even some at the same time without much mistake. But for other people, even they involved in a particular activity, even one activity, they can't do it perfectly. Perfectly in the sense, we already know that we have a lot of stress and such kind of things are there. But this kind of people, that the first category that I mentioned, multiple tasks, they can do, achieve, whenever they involve, they will complete within that time frame. But for us, okay, a person like me also, I can say that I can't deal a lot of things at the same time. So why it's happened?
No, that is what I want to say. Again, emphasize the point, uniqueness of the individual. So I may be good in one thing, then it is better to focus on that. There are certain people, they are good, they are multitaskers without any stress, without much fault and all, they may be able to give attention to multiple tasks at the same time. Let them do that. But we need not compare and we need not be, frustrated by seeing such people. They are them, they have different
Yeah,
capabilities.
but actually in the administrative field, probably we need to have that multiple talent, right?
I agree. If we know that I am not a multitasker, then it is better not to choose that administrative. By default, it may come to us. That is different.
But actually, right now we are living in a college in most
I
of the
agree.
time.
Same
We
thing.
have to do multiple tasks.
Yes. That is coming to you. You are not choosing. There is no option.
Yeah.
Then definitely when you are doing, you will be stressed. And then what we need to do? There another thing is there. I used to take sessions on work-life balance. So then you need to build a team, and you need to delegate things. And delegating things with a trust on your team is the remedy for that. So if 5 things are coming to you, you identify 3-4 people. You give that work and you monitor that work. That's one way to overcome that.
Now we are facing a most important disease, suicide. How can I avoid it?
That's a big question because I am also doing research on that. So there are a lot of things are there, but one of the fundamental thing we need to have is to develop our support mechanisms. So we are not having proper social support mechanisms. We are not trusting others. I am not saying that blindly you have to trust others, but at least we need to have a few people to whom we can openly communicate things. Actually, that culture we lost. So things are piling up, and at the end we may decide, okay, it's worth it to leave the world than living in the world. This is one major reason. But again, within suicide there are various ways or various attitudes are there. So recently, a person in Kerala, he committed suicide. The reason is that he is very fond of Western gut. And Western gut is not properly maintained, preserved and all, and a lot of exploitation is happening, but it's leading to its destruction. As a protest to that destruction, this person committed suicide as a political activity. So it may help the authorities to engage. So like different people are there, this is really a complex thing. So n number of reasons are there, but at present, majority of the cases are happening due to interpersonal issues and lack of proper support system and communication. So we need to have that communication either in the family level, our own personal level, etc. like that. Somewhere we need to have. We lost it. We are connected. Now we are connected, but peripherally only we are connected, or we are not connected. That's a problem. Major.
Mobile phone is major issue in that, or in any other.
Mobile phone is there, but maybe attributing things to mobile phone only is reductionistic, because before mobile phone also the suicide rate in Kerala was high if you are looking in the context of Kerala. So mobile phone again made us more into our own virtual world. So it made more that isolation. It intensified that isolation. So it's not only to mobile phone. Mobile phone is okay, but if mobile phone we are using to connect with others properly, then it is good. It is not that particular thing, phone or X, Y, Z things. What for we are using, how we are using, that also matters. So that again, that lost child, we need to have that, regain that lost connection which we have. Even in the family, if we are going, 4 people will be or 5 people will be there in the family. How much we are really connected? Before that, when we were very close to others, even with a very minor difference in the in our face, we can recognize it and then we will ask what happened and all. And there is a space to say that this happened to me also if someone is asking. Now people are not there to recognize these changes. Though someone is recognizing, you are not trusting that person to say that this is what happened to me. So this problem is there. So we need to regain that lost qualitative connection, not quantitative connection. Quantitative connection we have very good. Instagram followers, maybe there are thousands of, or Facebook followers are there, but they are just in the periphery of it. So that lost connection and social support mechanisms is one aspect which may reduce.
Thank you, sir.
ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ അത് നമ്മളുടെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്. ആ ഒരു സമയത്ത് ഏറ്റവും ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ കുട്ടികളുടെ ഇവാലുവേഷൻ, ഇന്റേണൽ ഇവാലുവേഷൻ. എക്സ്റ്റേണൽ പിന്നെ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ അതിനെപ്പറ്റി ബോധേഡാവുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഇന്റേണൽ ഇവാലുവേഷൻ വരുമ്പോൾ പലപ്പോഴും കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്, നമ്മൾ ചെറിയ ഷോർട്ട് ടൈം ഡ്യൂറേഷനിലാണ് കുട്ടികളെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. ആ ടൈമിനുള്ളിൽ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് അവർ കിട്ടുന്ന ടൈം വളരെ കുറവാണെന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാം. ഒരു ഇവാലുവേഷൻ നടത്തുമ്പോൾ അതിൽ വളരെ അക്കാഡമിക് ലെവല് വളരെ താഴ്ന്ന ഒരുപാട് കുട്ടികളുണ്ട് ഒരു ക്ലാസ്സിൽ. എല്ലാവരും ഒരുപോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല. അപ്പൊ ആ കുട്ടികളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിട്ട് അവർക്ക് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരുപാട് പ്രയാസങ്ങളുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ ഇവാലുവേഷൻ മെത്തേഡ് പ്രകാരം ഒരു എക്സാമിനേഷൻ കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്തത്, പക്ഷെ അവർക്ക് അത് ഒരിക്കലും അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ബേസിക്കലി നമ്മൾ ടീച്ചേഴ്സിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഇന്റേണൽ മാർക്ക് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളത് ഒരു ക്രൈറ്റീരിയ ആയതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ ആ ഒരു പോയിന്റ് ഓഫ് വ്യൂവിൽ നോക്കിയിട്ട് ഇന്റേണൽ മാർക്ക് എടുക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ബേസിക്കലി എന്നെ പോലുള്ള ഒരു ടീച്ചറിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇപ്പോഴുള്ള ഫീലിംഗ് ടീച്ചർ പറഞ്ഞ പോയിന്റിൽ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ്. കാരണം ഈ കറന്റ്ലി ഉള്ള കുട്ടികൾ അൺപ്രഡിക്റ്റബിൾ ആയിട്ടാണ് കുട്ടികൾ പോകുന്നത്. ഇവിടെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് അൺപ്രഡിക്റ്റബിൾ ആയിട്ട് പോകുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഞാൻ ബേസിക്കലി ഇന്റേണൽ മാർക്ക് ഇടുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു ഫീലിംഗ് ആണ്. ഇപ്പൊ കറന്റ്ലി നമ്മുടെ കോളേജ് സൈറ്റിൽ ഇട്ടിട്ട് പോയാൽ മതി എന്നുള്ളതുണ്ട്, അതിലെ ഗ്രീവൻസും കാര്യങ്ങളും. പക്ഷെ നേരത്തെ ഒന്നും അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല, മെക്കാനിസം മാറുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ വരുമ്പോൾ നമ്മളൊരു മാർക്ക് ഇടുമ്പോൾ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നമ്മൾ ആ കുട്ടിയെ ഫെയിൽ ആക്കേണ്ടി വരും. കാരണം മെക്കാനിസ്റ്റിക്കലി നോക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ അവർ ക്രൈറ്റീരിയ ഒന്നും തന്നെ ഫുൾഫിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി മറ്റു കുട്ടികളെ കമ്പാരിസൺ നടത്തുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ആ മാർക്ക് തന്നെ ഇട്ട് കൊടുക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ മാർക്ക് ഇടുന്ന സമയത്ത് വളരെ പുവറായിട്ടുള്ള മാർക്ക് ഈ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്ന് നമുക്ക് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് അറിയുകയും ചെയ്യാം. മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പ്രയാസം ഇവാലുവേഷൻ നടത്തും. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുട്ടികളുടെ കേസിൽ നമ്മൾ ഒരു ഫീലിംഗ് പറഞ്ഞു, ഇവർക്ക് മാർക്കൊന്നും കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ അടുത്ത സ്റ്റെപ്പ് അവര് എന്താണ് ചെയ്യാന്നുള്ളൊരു സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടാവാറില്ല. ഫെയിൽ ആവുന്നുള്ള 100% ഉറപ്പാണ്. പക്ഷെ ഇതുപോലെയുള്ള അറ്റംപ്റ്റിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നുള്ളൊരു ഫീലിങ്സ് ഉള്ളിൽ ഉണ്ട്.
They all faced a lot. So sometimes I may give big answers also. So you know what a strategy I am doing. There are two things as a teacher. When I started to begin my teaching career, I thought of equal treatment to everyone. So because everyone is my student, irrespective of whatever they are, I will equal it. But later when I have read, I listened to a lot of folks and again reflected, equal treatment is not just. Equitable treatment is just. So we have students from different backgrounds, they are there in our classes. So we should not go with a prejudiced idea or preoccupied mind that they can't. Instead, from the beginning we need to set. For my students, what I used to do, in the beginning, first week or maximum in the second week of the semester, their internals are clear. What they have to do, when they have to submit, what may be the evaluation criteria. Usually it's like that. So they are very clear. And in between monitoring, sometimes if someone is not doing, someone is not able to, then very clearly told, if you are not able to, you discuss. Resources you are not getting, you discuss. Whether they are coming or not, there are differences. Some students may come, some may not come. But if some we identified that they are not doing and they may not be able to, then we can call them. We need to spend extra time for it. We can call them, we need to ask their issues and all. This is nothing other than called mentoring. So we are beyond teachers now. We are mentors. That mentoring requires additional time and effort from our part. So how many of us can do that? That matters. How many of the students are ready to do or take that opportunity? That's another thing. And students, the issue is that they are coming with some other system in schooling. They may not be permitted to ask questions, they may not be permitted to approach teachers freely, etc. like that. So we need to enhance their confidence. They can approach us, they can come and ask questions, and that environment we need to make. And as a teacher, you need to set your criteria very clearly. I am ready to work with you, work for you, provide all the help for you. But at the last moment, if you are telling all those things, evaluation, I can't do anything. You go with your standard, but make sure that you are providing sufficient time for the students and opportunity for them to improve. When I conduct internal examination, not less than 5 comments I will give as a feedback for every student at the end of their paper. So these are the things. Sometimes very well they might have written, I say, I appreciate you are doing justice with your potential, you keep it up. Others, you need to spend extra time for reading, you need to prepare your notes, spend more time for your academic activities, you discuss with me. Or some other points will be there. So maybe the first month of the semester they may get, or first 1.5 months they will be having an evaluation. They will get a feedback. so that they may be able to understand which aspect they may need to improve. So we are taking an effort. If we are taking all the effort and at the end they are not doing anything, there is no need to blame or having guilt on that. You go with your values. But we need to make sure that we have taken an effort.
Hello sir, Hanya here. My question is quite similar to what sir asked, like about perfection, but it is from a different aspect. I'm a mother of 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, and I make them do all the household works. So the thing is, whatever they do, I redo the work unknowingly. Is it a form of perfectionism? If they fold the clothes, it is like it is not aligned. So I redo it. How can I avoid it?
You have to avoid it. It's not about perfectionism. It's a problem of trust deficit. Your children won't trust you later.
No, you just said that you have to do understand their ability and
What
accept
we need
it.
to do, they have folded different ages, right? Each age there is a limit for them to do certain things. So based on their age, you think that they may be able to fold a cloth properly. You show it. When they are doing again, you show it, and after that you ask them to do under your supervision for a few days.
I've done all that.
Pardon?
I have done all that.
Ah.
Gone through all those stages.
Agreed. So then they may make minor mistakes in that folding. First we need to appreciate you have done a very good job that you have done, you helped the Amma like this. That appreciation will boost their confidence. Then you need to say that, but when you are keeping, you can keep like this also. So they won't feel bad about it. And after a few occasions they will learn it.
No, I appreciate them and I redo that without them knowing it.
Don't underestimate kids. Don't underestimate kids. I am
They might be
also,
knowing that, right?
like you, I am also a father of 3. So don't underestimate our kids. What all we are doing, they are like sponge. If we are keeping a sponge in water, it will accumulate all the water. It may not show all those things all the time. They will understand all those things. They may not reflect it. Some point of time they may reflect, you will wonder. So don't play tricks with kids. We have to be very honest and transparent with kids. Otherwise, all the effort which you are taking may be vain.
I'm honest and transparent, but when things are like not
Transparency,
accordingly.
without their knowledge you are doing is not transparency.
Okay, fine.
So that's a problem. Then what they are understanding, I made a mistake, Amma don't want to say that, but Amma is directly saying it's okay, but she is doing it later means
It gives a
there is
different
a
meaning.
mismatch between your words and deeds. So as a psychologist, I can read like that.
I'll be careful again.
It's not careful, you be more lovable and appreciate them and be with them and we let them, someone may not be interested, some of the kids, maybe somewhere. You identify differences among your kids also. Which activity they are interested. One person may be okay with cleaning, one may be okay with folding all those things, one may be with something else like that. You give activity, the delegation I told, like that you can do that. Really thankful to all of you, all the teachers, students and my dear friends here. And I am also grateful to the principal Rajiv sir, correct? Rajesh sir, and all the administration. And this is really a wonderful event because if you are looking in like a college is conducting an international seminar, especially a transdisciplinary area, is not an easy task. So your college has done a wonderful job. And maybe your college is having trust on all of you. That's why they were capable enough to take up this challenge within the limited resources like that. And it's really going wonderful, and your hospitality I really enjoyed. And more than that, I was able to reconnect with some of my good old friends by coming here. So that's another wonderful thing. So I wish all the best to all of the students and my dear faculty members here for all your future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you very much.
For their support and guidance throughout the conference. A heartfelt thanks to the dedicated organizing team whose hard work and effort made this conference successful. Special appreciation to our HOD, Ms. Rasha Fatima, and all other faculties of the department. Thank you all.